Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at two exciting things, both of which are related to Shiba. Right, we're going to be looking at the new ShibaSwap platform. What it is, well, it's basically a new DeFi protocol centralized around the Shiba Inu token. We're going to be looking at how to use the platform, whether it's worthwhile, right? That involves answering the question, how do you move your funds from a centralized exchange, which is probably where you have your tokens at the moment, such as Binance or Coinbase. How do you move your SHIB tokens from somewhere like this into the DeFi space, right? How do you go from here to your Ethereum wallet, which is going to be MetaMask? That's the one we're going to be looking at. That is the one that the vast majority of people in the DeFi space are using. And then how do we contribute our SHIB tokens onto the ShibaSwap platform? And the other thing I wanted to look at, so this is on the flip side of the coin. Now that the ShibaSwap platform is out, a lot of people are getting really excited about the price of SHIB once again. But at the same time, people are throwing out these wildly, what I'm going to argue, are unrealistic price prediction. This is not just me putting a dampener on the parade, on the party, for the sake of doing so. These prices cannot be justified, and I'll explain to you why. Basically, there just is not enough money in the economy to justify some of these prices. What are realistic prices for SHIB and what are non-realistic prices for SHIB, so that the next time you see someone throw out 10 cents, $1, $10, something like that in the forums on the internet, you will know straight away that it's not possible. Alright, so what is ShibaSwap? Well, it's the latest DeFi protocol. There are hundreds of them out there across different blockchains. You've got Ethereum, the Binance Smart Chain, and so forth. And at this level of maturity in the crypto space, new DeFi protocols tend to have a certain suite of features, right? So firstly, it's going to have a base functionality, which is the swap ability. This is where you swap and trade kind of like the smaller to mid-cap altcoins in the DeFi space. A lot of the tokens that you can exchange here, you're not going to be able to on a centralized exchange, such as Coinbase, Binance, and so forth. And that is one of the main motivations for exploring the DeFi space. If you want to get some of the smaller cap altcoins, they're the ones that also tend to have the most upside, right? Price upside. Sometimes you can't find them on centralized exchanges like Binance and Coinbase, but if you go to the DeFi space, they are there, right? Okay, so what can you exchange? Well, this is supposed to be a fully featured swap functionality, so you should be able to swap between hundreds of different cryptocurrencies, but I'd be a little bit wary. Given that ShibaSwap is brand new, its liquidity is going to be focused on, the dog themed kind of tokens like SHIB and some of the new tokens like Bones and Leash and so forth. So this might be a great place to exchange some of the large altcoins, for example Ethereum for SHIB, okay, for Bones, for Leash, but I wouldn't be coming here to exchange between Ethereum and some of the other altcoins that have absolutely nothing to do with ShibaSwap. I would still be going to Uniswap, okay, which is Ethereum's largest DEX. I would still be going there for this kind of stuff. Alright, so that's the swap functionality. Not terribly exciting. Really, it's a good place to go to if you wanted to buy some of the new Shiba associated related tokens. But where you really want to look at is the passive income opportunities, right? That's really why you're interested in ShibaSwap. So that's when you'd be looking at DIG, which is where you can contribute a liquidity pair. So this is yield farming, and what you do is you contribute liquidity into a pool that other users of this DEX will be using to exchange their tokens in the swap site. And so what you do here, and this is the same as adding liquidity anywhere else in DeFi, is you go into the pool section, you add liquidity, and you add a pair, whichever pair you're comfortable with. For example, you can add in Ethereum and SHIB. That's probably the most obvious choice. And then as a result of that, you get paid a proportion of the trading fees. Right, so that's one way to earn a passive income, right? By contributing liquidity and earning a proportion of the fees. Now, just be aware that this is actually one of the riskier things that you can do in the DeFi space, adding liquidity, right? Because of something called impermanent loss. Basically, whenever the relative prices of the two tokens in your pair deviate, you have impermanent loss. So if the price of Ethereum goes up 100% and the price of SHIB only goes up 50%, you're going to have impermanent loss, right? So that means that when you pull your liquidity out, barring the fees that you earn from adding that liquidity, if we're just looking at the capital gains of the tokens themselves, you would have actually been better off just holding the two tokens, Ethereum and SHIB, in your wallet and not adding them into the pool. So with liquidity provision, one of the big risks, that's the impermanent loss, means that you have to constantly monitor the relative prices of the pair that you added. This is not something where you just add liquidity in, right? You don't just add Ethereum in, SHIB in, and then leave it alone and let it grow via compound interest, right? You do actually have to watch what you've added in and whether there are any price deviations. Now, another risk with liquidity provision is smart contract risk, right? So a DeFi protocol, it's essentially a web app, and it uses smart contracts to execute the things that you're doing. And if there are issues with the code, errors that can be exploited, then you've added your own funds into the pool. They could just vanish, right? And the Binance Smart Chain is actually notorious for this. There are many DeFi protocols out there that on a semi-regular basis gets hacked or rug pulled or exploited somehow. The good news is a lot of these projects are genuine quality projects. So if they do get hacked or exploited, the development team gives compensation, right? They initiate a compensation plan. So it's not terribly worrying. And in ShibaSwap's case, I think security-wise, they're doing all right. If you look at the CertiK audit that they recently did, they got a score of a 90, right? Which is actually just one mark away from PancakeSwap, which got 91. So that's actually pretty impressive. There were some issues that were revealed in the audit documents, but my understanding is almost all of them, basically every single one except for one, has been fixed so far. So they are pretty diligent with their security. I'm not too worried about that. Okay, now with yield farming, okay, so once we've added liquidity into the pool and we've got our first source of passive income, which is a proportion of the trading fees, there is a second source of passive income you can get, which is by staking what's called the LP tokens. And you can do that here in the WOOF section. Okay, so the way it works is this, and this is something which is not, it's not unique to ShibaSwap. It's basically something that is quite common throughout the DeFi space, where you combine yield farming with essentially staking, right? So the way it works is this. After adding liquidity into the liquidity pool, so for instance, ETH, SHIB, you get returned an LP token, right? What's called a liquidity pool token. That is proof of the liquidity that you added, right? And then that token, which is basically another cryptocurrency itself, can be staked, right? Just like how many proof of stake cryptocurrencies can be staked, right? And you stake that here in the WOOF section. So these are called SSLPs, in this case, ShibaSwap liquidity pool tokens. And then you get a second source of passive income. You get staking rewards. Now, generally for normal staking, so that's staking a single asset. So for example, if you stake Cardano, if you stake Cake on PancakeSwap, if you stake Matic on Polygon, the rewards are generally not that high. Actually, the rewards for Cake is pretty good. It's over 100%. That's one of the reasons I like the Binance Smart Chain. But generally when you stake a single asset, you don't get that great of a reward, relatively speaking, compared to staking liquidity pool tokens. And the reason for that is basically they are compensating the fact that you are taking on impermanent loss risk with such high staking yields, right? So that's one of the nice things about DeFi. You can combine yield farming often with staking. So you get two sources of passive income. You earn liquidity fees, right, from adding liquidity into the pool, and then you also get staking rewards, kind of like interest for then staking the LP tokens. It's pretty good. All right, so if you are new to the DeFi space, there is an article I wrote called How to Generate Passive Income with Cryptocurrencies that talks a lot about things that we've covered so far and things I will be covering in a lot of detail. Okay, so staking, adding liquidity into pools, the risks and the rewards, staking LP tokens, how to actually do all of this, transfer money around from centralized exchanges all the way to the DeFi space. I go into a lot of this in detail in this guide, so I'll leave the link in the description below. All right, so we've effectively covered a dual asset investing on ShibaSwap. Okay, basically adding a liquidity pair, earning fees, and then staking the LP tokens to get a second set of passive income, the staking rewards from the LP tokens. Now, that is, again, that is the riskier thing to do, right? Mainly because of impermanent loss. If you want to keep things a little less risky, we just look at single asset staking, right? So that's in the berry section here. So here you can stake your SHIB tokens, and what you'll get are the new bone tokens. And then those bone tokens, you can go back to the swap section and exchange for Ethereum, which you can then take back to your centralized exchange, Binance, Coinbase, and so forth. You can just sell them directly for a stable coin like USDT, USDC, and then transfer that over back to Binance or Coinbase, and then exchange that back to your fiat currencies and back into your bank account if passive income is your main play. Now, one thing I do find quite interesting about the staking platform, the single asset staking platform on ShibaSwap, is that, well, generally speaking, when you stake in DeFi, you tend to get one type of crypto back, right? So for example, on PancakeSwap, in the pools there, if you stake cake, right, you can pick one of many hundreds of cryptocurrencies to get your rewards in. So you can stake cake to get more cake, right? You can stake cake to earn Bunny. Bunny is another token that I really like. It's the native token of the Binance Smart Chain's largest yield aggregator. You can stake cake to earn one of many hundreds of Binance Smart Chain BEP20 tokens, essentially, right? But on ShibaSwap, you actually earn multiple types of tokens, right? So if you stake SHIB, you get Bone, right? But you don't get just Bone, you actually get a proportion of the Ethereum trading fees, the Ethereum gas fees that are used on the platform. So from what I understand, you actually get at least two types of rewards, right? By just staking one asset. You're staking, say, SHIB, but you're going to get Bones and you're going to get a little bit of Ethereum. And that's really, really cool, because single asset staking, okay, staking just one crypto, that is generally a fairly non-risky way to play DeFi, and for you to get two types of tokens back. Bones, which is a brand new token from the SHIB devs, and Bones is something that I don't know what the price of that is going to be. I don't know if that's really going to take off, right? It could explode along with the next altcoin pump, or it could go to zero. We don't really know, right? But it is nice that we also get a little bit of Ethereum as part of the staking rewards, because Ethereum is the largest altcoin, right? It underpins the entire altcoin space. It's basically an index for the altcoins. So if you wanted to play it safe in the altcoin space, there is no safer token out there than to invest in Ethereum. And by staking SHIB and getting a risky token like Bone, which has a large upside because it is a micro cap brand new altcoin, and to get a stable one like Ethereum, I think that's pretty cool. All right, so we know how to use the platform now, right? So once you have your SHIB tokens on ShibaSwap, we have an idea of how to do all of the things that we want to play around with. But how do you get your money there? How do you get your SHIB tokens there? Chances are right now it's on an exchange like on Binance or Coinbase. How do you get it there? So the majority of people that play in the DeFi space use a wallet called MetaMask, and that is the one I'm going to be looking at today. So what you need to do is you need to withdraw your SHIB tokens from your exchange into your MetaMask wallet, right? Now your MetaMask wallet has a public wallet address, and all you need to do is paste that address into the withdrawal section of your exchange, and then you pay a little bit of transaction fees. Now, because the SHIB token is an ERC20 token, right? So it's on the Ethereum blockchain. The ShibaSwap DeFi protocol is an Ethereum protocol, right? So that means when you withdraw your SHIB from whether it's Coinbase, Binance, what have you, the gas fees are going to be paid in Ethereum. So make sure you have a little bit of Ethereum for that. And then once you have your SHIB tokens transferred onto your MetaMask wallet, you're pretty much good to go. You can connect to ShibaSwap and do all of those things that I just described. And just make sure you have enough Ethereum in your MetaMask wallet as well, because everything you do on the Ethereum blockchain has to be paid with gas fees that are going to be in Ethereum. All right, so what does that look like? Well, if I go to my Binance demo account, so we can see here, I've got some SHIB in my spot wallet. We go to the withdrawal section, okay, getting ready to move our SHIB out of Binance to somewhere else. I've got SHIB selected, and in the address box, I'm going to paste in the public address of my MetaMask wallet. Now, if you've never used MetaMask before, you really should have a Google. There are many videos out there on how to install MetaMask. It's basically a browser extension. It's going to look quite funny when you first use it. It's not like an app that you load on your desktop. It's essentially an extension in your browser. Now, when you load up the wallet, you can copy the address down. Okay, so this is the public address of my MetaMask wallet, and I paste it in. And then the network I choose should be the Ethereum blockchain. Okay, the Ethereum network, that's ERC20. Don't choose BEP20. Okay, BEP20, that's the Binance Smart Chain. Now, here it doesn't actually matter because the nice thing is the address for MetaMask, for the Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum, it's exactly the same. So if you go to the Binance Smart Chain here, you're going to get the same wallet address. So it's not a big deal if you get this wrong. But one of the things with DeFi is you have custody over your own affairs, right? So if you try and send money somewhere, if you try and send crypto somewhere and it happens to go to the wrong address, you've lost your funds, no one's going to be there to help you. Okay, ERC20, that's the network. And then let's say you wanted to move everything over, you select how many SHIB tokens you want to move, and then you click withdrawal. You have to pay some gas fees in Ethereum, and then off it goes. In about 10 minutes or so, your funds should arrive in your MetaMask wallet. All right, so I think that about covers it for ShibaSwap. It's a brand new DeFi protocol on the Ethereum blockchain if you want to use it. So say if you have some SHIB tokens already in a wallet on an exchange, you move it to your MetaMask wallet, right? So you withdraw from the exchange into your MetaMask, and then you can do all the things that we described earlier on. Okay, so that means adding liquidity and earning liquidity fees, and then you can also stake the LP tokens. Personally, if you want to do something less risky, I would focus on the single asset staking, right? So you can stake your SHIB tokens and earn rewards there. There's no risks like impermanent loss or anything like that there. You're going to get a stream of continuous returns in the form of Bone and in the form of some Ethereum as well, which is quite nice. All right, now the second thing I wanted to look at is looking through FUD when it comes to making realistic crypto price predictions, right? And this is motivated from a lot of the forum posts that I've been seeing with SHIB owners, people saying SHIB can go to 1 cent to 10 cents to $1, $10 and so forth. And people making these sorts of predictions without doing any real thought into them. They just think, okay, 1 cent is maybe 100, 1,000 times more than what the SHIB price is right now. But 1 cent is still so cheap, right? It's only 1 cent, right? Surely we can attain that. And there are so many things wrong with that kind of mentality. And this is what I want to talk about now. How do you make realistic crypto price predictions? And it all comes down to the market cap. All right, guys, it's not the price of the token. It's all about the market cap. Okay. All right, so I'm looking at an article I published for the purposes of actually making this video, and it's all about explaining in detail why some crypto price predictions are just impossible. And it really comes down to the fact that people focus too much on price, and it's when it's actually about the market cap. Okay, now what do I mean by the market cap? Okay, well, let's look at a 1 cent SHIB. Right, if SHIB was to reach 1 cent, what does that mean? It means the market cap of SHIB would be about $4 trillion. Why? Because a 1 cent SHIB times the circulating supply, which is about 400 trillion, gives us a market cap of about $4 trillion, right? Basically, there would be $4 trillion of investor money put into SHIB. And that's where you realize that's kind of ridiculous. Right now, the entire crypto market cap is only about $1.3 trillion. Right? Does it make sense for SHIB alone to capture $4 trillion of investor money? Right? Can you see where I'm going with this? Right, so it's about the market capitalization. If you want to know whether a coin is going to reach a certain price or whether it's cheap or expensive, you need to look at the market cap, right? The price by itself doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't make sense to say, oh, Dogecoin is 20 cents, SHIB is only 0.000007, so SHIB is much cheaper. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all, right? Because the price is a function of the circulating supply. You need to look at the market cap. The market cap tells you, is it reasonable that such a certain amount of money, right, investor money, is currently in an asset? That gives you a fair comparison platform. The price alone does not give you that. And so now with that understood, we can see how ridiculous some of the other predictions are. Okay, let's look at a 10 cent SHIB, right? 10 cents, right? If Shiba Inu were to reach 10 cents, That means its market cap would be around $40 trillion. Now that's twice the entire US money supply. Okay, that's twice the entire M1 money supply, which is around $20 trillion. The US GDP is roughly $20 trillion. So how does it make sense to say that SHIB can reach a market cap of $40 trillion? Now, for some of you, this information is going to be transformative for your investing careers, right? The next time someone says to you, I think so-and-so token, I think Cardano can reach $50. Right now the price is $1.20. I think it can reach $50 because the bull market's going to come back. $1.20, yeah, it's pretty low, but Cardano, you know, Charles Hoskins is running off installing Cardano into national infrastructure in Africa. You've got smart contracts coming, the Gogu and Mainnet, right? Surely it's going to be really, really bullish. I can see it going to $50. That is not math. You got to use math to work out what is possible. So if someone tells you Cardano can reach $50, I'm not going to mention the YouTuber that said that, but he's quite well known. The thing to ask is, okay, what market cap corresponds to a Cardano price of $50? And then you ask yourself, is that market cap justified? And it turns out a $50 Cardano would correspond to a market capitalization of around $2 trillion. So that's roughly 50% more than the entire crypto market cap right now. So you got to ask yourself, okay, does that make sense? I think the most bullish of people will say it does make sense, because they might argue that the entire crypto market cap is going to go to $20 trillion when we have the next leg up as part of this bull run. That is a more convincing argument, right? Saying Cardano is going to go to $50 because the price is $1.20 and they feel like it can go up, you know, another 20-30x is not convincing. Making an argument based on the market cap is way more convincing. And by the way, this is exactly the logic that a lot of Bitcoin bulls use to justify that the price of Bitcoin right now is still a bargain, right? Because right now, a price of $32,000 per Bitcoin seems like it's expensive, but it really just means the Bitcoin market cap is $600 billion. Right, and they think that's cheap. Why do they think that's cheap? Is because Bitcoin is supposed to be like the ultimate inflation hedge, right? It's supposed to be like digital gold, right? So what's it competing against? It's competing against gold. And the market cap of gold is roughly $11 trillion, right? So we have this asset class, Bitcoin, that if you argue is better than gold, and the market cap of gold is way higher than Bitcoin right now, then Bitcoin is undervalued. So that's a real argument. That's a real argument. And so that's what leads some people to say, okay, I think in this market cycle, a $100,000 Bitcoin is possible. Right? Why do they say that? They don't just throw out $100,000 because it's a psychological level. Right? They're saying $100,000 is possible because they believe that the market cap of Bitcoin is worth 20% of the market cap of gold. That's a real argument. All right, so where do I think the price of SHIB is going to go in the long run? Well, no one really knows, but in this market cycle, I mean, I would be comfortable saying something like the market cap of SHIB currently around $2 to $3 billion. I will be comfortable with a figure of say $20 to $30 billion market cap. Why? Well, that's the current market cap of Dogecoin right now. Dogecoin is it's the most well-known meme coin, and somehow, well, we know how, through Elon pumping it. It snuck its way into the top 10 cryptocurrencies, and even though it has no real fundamentals, it has served as an important conduit for a retail capital into the cryptocurrency space. So it's playing an important part there, right? So if we accept that SHIB could have a market cap of, let's say, $20 to $30 billion, we're looking at a 10x from here. Now, to go back to all-time highs, about a month or 2 months ago, which was 0.000034 dollars, that's a 5x, right? So if we look at a 10x, we're basically looking at twice the all-time high for this market cycle. Right now, some people might look at this and even say this is actually not going to happen. It's too ambitious. Some people might look at this and say, well, that's too low. I think SHIB could go much higher than that, right? But whatever argument you make, it really should be based more on the market cap. You shouldn't be looking at the prices and saying it's going to reach a cent, 10 cents, $1. It's not going to reach those prices. As much as I would love for the price to go that high, as we did the maths earlier, we know that that's simply not possible. There's just not enough money. There's not enough money around to justify valuations that high. All right, so that's it for today. If there's anything you found particularly interesting, please feel free to comment down below and let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.